Let's get to our morning business report now. More than half of Americans plan to cut subscriptions this year.
Same.
Yes.
And we're sharing some last-minute help now that tax day is next week. Channel 3's Jane King is live at the New York Stock Exchange with those stories and more. Good morning, Jane.
Hi, Tracy, Caitlin, good morning. We just got a few days, really, before the tax filing deadline. And Andy Phillips, the vice president of the Tax Institute at H&R Block, says people may be even more overwhelmed than normal this year because of the big changes with the 2025 Big Beautiful Bill. So he suggests going over your return one more time. Make sure you've included all of the new deductions, which are detailed on the IRS website. Now, among those changes, no tax on tips, a standard deduction for those 65 and older, and the ability to write off some car loan interest. Well, a new NerdWallet survey finds more than half of Americans, so about 55%, plan to significantly cut back on subscriptions this year to save money. Now, parents are more likely to want to cancel subscriptions. NerdWallet suggests freezing all subscriptions and see what you really miss. Keep those and cancel the others. And Southwest Airlines rolling out stricter rules on portable chargers as concerns over lithium battery fires continue to rise on flights. Beginning April 20th, passengers will be limited to one lithium-powered portable charger per person, and each device must have a capacity of 100 watt-hours or less. Well, stocks soared yesterday after the U.S. and Iran walked back from the brink. Oil prices and interest rates sank on the news of a ceasefire as well. But this morning, a little bit more cautious. Oil prices are higher, and the Dow's pointing down about 140 points on concerns about how fragile the ceasefire with Iran is. Live from the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King. Back to you.